This podcast is not sponsored or supported by any business or organization. The views reflected on these podcast episodes are my own. Please be aware I am not a medical expert, travel agent, or any other kind of expert. Hey everyone, welcome to the Eat, Explore, Love podcast. I'm Ashley. This podcast is based off of my blog of the same name, Eat, Explore, Love. It talks about the unique challenges in traveling around the world when you have celiac disease. Due to sort of popular demand, I decided to also record a podcast to delve a little deeper into my travels and the lessons learned along the way. Hi everyone. As we approach the end of the year, we are also approaching the end of season 1 of Eat, Explore, Love, the podcast. It's been a wild ride with lots of adventures to share. We are taking the first few months of the year to regroup and figure out our next steps, and the Eat, Explore, Love team would love to hear from you. We have a couple of ideas brewing, but we want to hear from our listeners to see if there's anything that would be helpful for you. We're looking for any type of feedback, ranging from, should I look into getting a co-host? Would you like to be more of an active part of the podcast where I interview you guys about your favorite cities? Would you want to hear from more medical experts, travel experts, self-love experts? If you have any thoughts, we want to hear them at hieatexplorelove@gmail.com. We at Eat, Explore, Love appreciate all of your support and kindness in listening over the past year. That's 130 episodes that you've sat through and listened to. I've been so lucky to not only be able to go on all the adventures I've been able to experience, but I've been so lucky to have all of you to share this with. Make sure to sign up for our newsletter and send us an email at hieatexplorelove@gmail.com. Now, back to the show. Hey everyone, this week we're going to be chatting about the lovely cuisines of Boston, places that you can go and see and activities that make it such a fun city, and why Boston is my favorite place in the United States and reminds me so much of my time in Europe. All that and more on this week's episode of Eat, Explore, Love, the podcast. Okay, guys, if you want links to any of these establishments, most of them are at the blog post, hieatexplorelove.com, so make sure to check that out. Some places where you can try some gluten-free cuisine are the Friendly Toast. Their gluten-free pancakes were so amazing, and they even marked your order with allergy, so whenever I see that, I know that they're being super careful and super diligent, or at least that's my assumption, so the Friendly Toast was someplace I felt really safe. Tate Bakery, which someone corrected my pronunciation on TikTok. So thank you so much for that. And it's Tate like latte. So Tate Bakery, there's a couple of locations. And the one that I went to, the staff wasn't super friendly or helpful, but they did have some gluten-free options on their menu. I would just go and check it out ahead of time. I had their gluten-free grilled cheese sandwich. It was super duper greasy, but hit the spot for my lunch. You could also check out Olivia's Bistro. They have, ovens and things in their kitchen that are absolutely dedicated gluten-free, so there's no chance for cross-contamination, and they take it super seriously. So make sure to check out Olivia's Bistro. Cane's Donuts, I've been told, are a staple of Boston. They have separate locations for gluten-free donuts, and then even if they're selling gluten-free donuts within their other locations where they sell quote-unquote normal donuts, they have a separate kitchen and keep everything separate and safe as well. So Cane's Donuts, go check it out for your breakfast. Cafe Arpeggio is actually in New Bedford, which is about an hour outside of Boston. But if you're wanting to visit the Whaling Museum, Cafe Arpeggio was a nice, quick sandwich that you could get while you're there. Not sure about their cross-contamination, but I did not get sick and I was all good to go. If you're walking along the Freedom Trail, there is Bencotto for some gluten-free pizza, and it was a really good choice for me, and my friend and I thoroughly enjoyed our meals there. Again, if you want the spelling of any of those places, or if you want to check it out, on top of, obviously, now I'm posting all these things on TikTok. Oh, gosh, help me. And on social media platforms, but you could also find them on the blog, hieatexplorelove.com. Some places that you should definitely go and check out in Boston, especially if you're a history nerd, which I am. Here are some places that I went to. The Freedom Trail, Newbury Street, Copley Square, Paul Revere's house, the printing house of Eads and Phil, I believe it's pronounced, and Harriet Tubman's house. I had so much fun learning and experiencing American history. There are so few cities that preserve the historic nature of the United States, and Boston and Washington, D.C. are the two cities that I know of that do that and do it well. So go and take advantage. It's also just a beautiful city where you just walk around and you don't have to even go experience the historical stuff. It's just an amazing, incredible city with so much to do there and walkable. Not exactly fun to drive around, but walkable. At least I felt. So make sure that you go and check out Boston and those excursions, and I hope you have a really fun time. I would love to hear about your adventures if you reach out at hieatexplorelove@gmail.com. The thing I love about living in Europe so much was that everything was steeped in history. No matter where you went, you were reminded of everywhere that we came from. And you know that saying, the farther backward you can go, the farther forward you can see. And I felt that everywhere while I was living in Europe. They don't swipe their negative parts of their history under the rug and pretend like it never happened. There are literally ruins from wars and times gone by all around you. There are people living in homes that have been there for generations. Unlike America, it would be rare to see a French Italian or Austrian Italian in a way that folks are Italian American or Irish American. They are simply Italian, French, Austrian, etc. Of course, those border cities are always the exceptions, but usually they're really steeped in their heritage. Boston is one of the two cities I'm aware of, like I said before, that have done a fantastic job preserving not only the city, but the country's history. If you want to understand America, you go to Boston. The pride of those that are from Boston cannot be matched by any other city, even from New York. One of my regrets is that I didn't go to school in Boston and be part of that community for even a short amount of time. If I could handle the winters, Boston would absolutely be the place that I would have chosen to be home. And I think that surprises a lot of people. My father was the one that guided me through my college experience and insisted that I wouldn't love city colleges. And I think that was a mistake. And if I, could go back and do anything over again, I would have probably gone to Boston College or tried to get in at Boston University. And I should have taken advantage of that time in my life where I could have done that. But hey, maybe I'll just apply for jobs there and maybe I can handle those really intense winters. I'm not sure. It's either the winters in Boston or the hurricanes in North Carolina. So I don't know what I could handle more. But at the end of the day, I do love Boston. Okay, time for the wrap-up questions. Do I feel the city is safe for those with celiac? Yes. Where was my favorite place to eat? Such a good question. It would be a tie between the Friendly Toast and Olivia's Bistro, I believe. Those would be my two choices. Favorite memory from the experience? I have a lot of friends that live in Boston, and I love getting to visit them always. Is this a city to vacation to or live in? Both. Is this a place to relax or be active? I think you've got to be prepared to do a lot of city walking. How are the people? Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining. As always, till next time. Thank you for joining me this week for all the fun journeys and lessons learned on my big adventure called life. For more information on the different cities discussed, check out the blog posts on hieatexplorelove.com, posted every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you have any questions or fun stories to share, feel free to reach out at hieatexplorelove@gmail.com. Until next week, remember to eat well, explore the world, and love yourself. See you next time. This episode is produced, scripted, and edited by me, Ashley. Special thanks to Sarah Mientka.